Start the recording. And first question, 3.1 in. And I'm just going to hit and miss on these because I'm getting tired of doing complete and square, but we'll go ahead and do it. Consider the function, find the coordinates and graph it. So let's go ahead and do that. And if you want to do this one, since it is a factor out a common term, you could do that. I don't care. Now that you're doing complete and square, I'm going to factor out a common term. So negative 4x squared plus 24x is equal to 0. Factor out a negative 4x, and that gives you what? X minus what? 6, Hubert. That's right, class. Can y'all see the board? Nope, y'all cannot.
No.
Hold on. Glad I said something, because y'all ain't gonna say nothing. Sit there an hour and not say nothing. So I watched App State and Louisiana last night. App State won. It was a good game. It was only like 17 points scored.
That's pretty good.
They're unbeaten. Yeah.
And South Carolina's playing.
South Carolina's playing Georgia, so I'm going to pray for South Carolina, and I'm going to pull for the Dogs.
Okay.
LSU, that's the game of the week. LSU and Florida. That's going to be a slobber knocker.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. I'm going to pray. I'm going to hold an open vigil for Texas. I'm going to pray that Texas does good and beats the hell out of Ohio State. I don't know if that's going to happen. And I think Clemson plays Hannah, doesn't they, this weekend? Or they play Pickens?
Well, Hannah.
Okay.
Pickens ain't up there yet.
So, all right. So here we go. Negative 4x is equal to 0, and x minus 6 is equal to 0. And that's x equals 6. So we've only got one what? No, we got two intercepts. So we got 0, x is equal to 0, and 6. So we got two x-intercepts. We got to find the vertex. So I'm going to go ahead and complete the square right quick just to find the vertex. I'm just showing you. Of course, I would do the whole thing with complete the square. But if you wanted to do this because it's a little bit easier for you to find the x-intercepts, I'm going to go find, so negative 4x squared. And if you want to use negative b over 2a, knock yourself out. I'm not going to. Y'all had the quadratic crap drilled in your head so much I don't have to teach you that. Plus blank is equal to 0 plus blank. Negative 4, that's going to give me x squared minus 6x, that's plus 6x, plus blank is equal to 0 plus negative 4 times blank. And what's half of 6? 3 squared? 9. So negative 4 times x plus 3, quantity squared, is equal to negative 36. And negative 4. So our vertex, x plus 3, quantity squared, is equal to what? 9. So negative 3 and what? Negative 9 should be our vertex. So let's draw it. So negative 3, negative 9. Our y-intercept is 0, 0. That's also our x-intercept, and our, doesn't look right. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Somebody help me out. Something's wrong. It's not drawn right. Because it should be negative 6, or this vertex should be over here. Because the 6 is right there. So somebody check my signs. Well, it's also opening. Yeah, that's not right. It's opening downward. So that should be positive 3 and positive 9. It should be up here. Somebody check my signs for me. I see a sign I messed up. -4. -24 divided by -4 is 6. 6 divided by 3. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared. -36.
Should be right.
Okay, I've got something wrong with the x-intercepts then. Let me check there. -4. Yeah, something that vertex is not right. Because I can't have a negative parabola go through the x-axis and have a -3, -9 vertex. Something's wrong. Let's graph it and see if I'm correct. See if I think this is what it's supposed to look like. And since nobody's going to talk to me, everybody's going to sit there like, I don't know what's going on. So
It just seems like there's an easier way to do this.
yeah, do it on the calculator. That's what's been drilled in your head the last 2 years.
Like there'd be like an easier formula,
Well, yeah, the quadratic formula.
like b negative b over 2 parentheses
Yep.
a.
And the reason, do you use that in calculus? No. You use complete the square. So that's why I'm teaching y'all complete the square.
Okay, that
I mean,
makes
you
sense.
can use it if you want to. What did you get? Did anybody use that?
Let's see what
Nobody
question
used it.
is.
All right, somebody give me what's the equation? Y is equal to what?
-4x squared.
-4x squared. Oops, sorry.
24x.
Squared plus what?
24x.
24x. Y'all settle down, Pendleton. See, it's in the first quadrant. I told you it's in the first quadrant. So that means our x-intercepts is correct. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to do on the whiteboard, do a whole lot better on the whiteboard than I do. All right, give me the problem one more time.
-4x squared
-4x squared
plus 24x.
plus 24x plus blank is equal to 0 plus blank. Factor out a -4, and that's going to give me x squared minus, what, 6x? Minus 6x plus blank is equal to 0 plus -4 times blank. Half of 6 is what? 3. 3 squared is 9. -4 times x minus 3 quantity squared is equal to negative what? 36. That would be right. There's your vertex, 3 and 36. I must have carried that extra step. 3 comma 36 is your vertex. I don't know what I did last time. So let's check it. 3 and 36. 1, 2, 3. Up here. And then that looks like it's correct. Now let's check negative b over 2a. Negative b over 2a. Oops. Negative b is 24. If 4 goes here. So negative 24 over, what's 2 times -4?
8.
So that's
Negative
equal to 3. And then plug 3 back in to your original. Plug 3 in here, and you should get, let's say, 3 times 24 minus 3 times. So plug that in, and I'm telling you, 3 times 24 is a big number. So 36 is correct. So your vertex is 3 comma 36. And this is 0, 0. And this is 6. So all real numbers. Negative infinity to 36, increasing from negative infinity to 3, decreasing from 3 to infinity. Line of symmetry is x is equal to 3. So I don't know what I did on that last one, I'm sorry. I think I messed that -3 up. I think I might have put a +3 there, I don't know.
Happens to the best of us.
I know.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I'm sorry.
Might as well quit. Let's get that.
Yep, that's the best thing to do. Pendleton won't cooperate, they're still hollering.
That ball breaker. I'm done.
I guarantee you, if I did, I'd get a phone call.
I think we need to close all Tri-County down for tomorrow, because First Takes come to Clemson to film their show at noon tomorrow.
Oh yeah, and the Coca-Cola man has got to come down. Has got to come down Clemson Boulevard to. So we need to cancel it. And then we also need to sacrifice live animals. We need to do that too.
I think Clemson is the place to be.
Oh yeah, buddy.
I asked you.
I'll take Athens any day. Athens is heaven.
Athens is dumb.
No, it's not. No, it's not. If you ever been down there, you wouldn't say that.
It is pretty cool. I've been there. I've been everywhere.
Athens is heaven. All right, so here we go. Let's take our handy dandy. Where's my whiteboard? It just disappeared. That's not it. I love how my whiteboard just disappears. There, thank you. All right, so here we go. X squared plus 30x plus blank is equal to -225 plus blank. Oh, this is simple. 30 divided by 2 is what? 15 is what? 15 squared is 225. Oh, this was too easy. Remind me not to put this one on the test. 15 quantity squared is equal to 0. So our vertex is what? -15 and 0. That's our vertex. And then solve. Somebody type in the square root of 0 on your calculator. X is equal to -15. So we know we got one x-intercept because this is the discriminant. So what is my y-intercept? My y-intercept is what? 225. So I don't know how they want, okay, they don't give you the y-intercept up here. So I don't know how you're going to graph that.
That's what I ran into. That's why I sent that in.
Let me see how, I guess you're going to have to plug in a number like 30 or 60, but I don't know how you're going to know that. Hit graph that, let me clear. Hit that, we know our vertex is -15.
They should put it on like intervals.
There it is. There it is. See it? 225. It's got to give you, see the top, see the corner right there? It's got to give you the y-intercept because you can't do it unless you have the y-intercept. Because even if you do plug in 30, how do you know it's going to be, look where it is, it's a fraction. I mean, the only number that looks like it's close to a whole number, I don't see one. I see one that's close. Like, but that's, I don't see any, you have to have it. You have to have the y-intercept.
Yeah, you get the same answer too using the -b over 2a.
You know why I'm not using -b over 2a, right?
Because we're going into calculus.
Exactly. So I'm just, if you, as long as you do complete the square and you know how to use it, you can use whatever you want to. But if you don't know how to complete the square, then you're going to have problems with your calculus. All right.
I guess it's going to separate me from the men.
Men from boys, yep. 14, 28. 28, 28. Oh, we're not doing that one. That one's a pain in the butt. I still don't understand how it does the first part, but we'll do the second part. We'll do the second part.
Well, how am I supposed to get 100 on my...
Nobody's going to get 100. You crazy. Just keep doing it until you figure out what's going on. I'll look at it this weekend, but I'm not gonna waste time in class going over the first part. 350 plus 35x. I'll set this one up for you. 120 minus 3x. And of course, you can turn that around. You can do 35x plus 350 and then negative 3x plus 120, because nobody writes like that. So now you can do your FOIL, pronounce it how you would like. What's 35 times negative 3? Is that negative 105? And then positive, somebody, 35 times 120, what do you get?
4,200.
4,200.
4,200, sorry. $4,200 x, and then minus 1050. Check my math there. X, and then plus 350 times 120. What do you get?
Wait, the 420 minus 1050?
No. 350 times 120. I'm doing FOIL. I'm doing the last.
42,000.
42,000. Somebody check my 1050 and make sure that's correct. Because I did it in my head. So that's going to be negative 105 is 1050, right? And then 4,200 minus 1050 is 3,150.
Yep.
Plus 3,150 x plus 42,000. Now, of course, we know f of x is equal to this, so we know our y-intercept is what? 42,000. So now, on this problem, you use any method you want to, Mr. Smith. Use any method you want to solve this one. If you wanted to use the completing the square, you're gonna have to work for it. So let's see if we can do it.
Hey, Hubert.
Yes.
Why doesn't the quadratic formula work with calculus?
Because in the if you're taking a derivative of something and you have ax squared plus bx, and you have ax squared plus bx plus c, ax squared plus bx plus c, then you can set that up to where it looks like x plus a quantity squared minus 4, and you can take the derivative of this easier, and you can't put the number, you're not finding, in other words, you're not finding the vertex. When you use the quadratic formula, you're finding the x-intercepts and you're finding the vertex, right? If you're in this form right here, you can take the derivative of this form, and that will give you what you need. You don't need the x. You don't need the x in the.
So it doesn't provide useful.
Exactly. It doesn't give you what you need with the calculus. Because the only thing, and see, that's why completing the square is so universal, because one, you use all what? Grammar school math, except for the shortcuts. Two, you can use it with any quadratic. And three, it not only gives you the x-axis, the x-intercepts and the vertex, it also gives you the intercept form, which gives you the calculus route. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it gives you everything. Okay, so I'm just going to start it off. Let's see, negative 105 x squared plus 3150x plus blank is equal to negative 42,000 plus blank. Factor out of 105 squared, factor out of 105, and that's going to give you x squared. Somebody give me the decimal. 3150 divided by 105. 3150 divided by 105. 30 even. 30x plus blank is equal to negative 42,000 plus negative 105 times blank. Half of 30 is 15. 15 squared is 225. 225. And then that's going to give us negative 105 times x minus 15 quantity squared is equal to, what's 105 times 225?
23,625.
22,000?
3,000.
23,000? 625? Okay, somebody do that for me. That'd be negative what? 65,625? Somebody check me. Pendleton, you up? You good?
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, now divide. There's your vertex, 15 and 6. So that's your vertex. That's your highest, whatever this thing's asking, profit or whatever. That's going to be that. So divide by negative 105. Negative 105. And that's going to be x minus 15 quantity squared is equal to, somebody take 65,625 divided by 105. What is that?
625.
Oh, 625. That's great. Because the square root of 625 is 25. So that means go up here. X minus 15 is equal to positive or negative 25. And then x is equal to positive or negative 25 plus 15, which is going to give you a negative, which is no good, and a positive. 25 plus 15 is what? 40? So I would say your 40 is going to be part of your answer. And your vertex is also going to be part of it. Again, that is not a test question because it's too tedious. Now, if I wanted to give you just 5 test questions, I would give you this, but I'm not going to test you just on 5 test questions. All right, next one. Remember, all I care about is mechanics. I want you to be able to do completing the square without even thinking about it. You and the Math 110 students, I do the same thing with the Math 110 students. If y'all look at each other's videos, y'all are doing the same thing right now. So, 28, I'm going to take that one out. I'll take that one out. 29. We did this one, did we not?
I don't recall.
Okay, well, it's a good one. It's a good test question because it's a what? Projection. And anything having to do with the projection, like a bullet or artillery, I know I'm a racist, or, you know, a basketball or a baseball, you're going to see it on the test. Anything having to do with a projectile. Because the projectile series, meaning the parabola that looks like this, has all kinds of applications in business because it's in the what quadrant? Most of it's in the first quadrant. So you're going to see this again. So let's go with y is equal to, or I'm just going to skip a couple of steps. Let's go ahead and multiply by what? 100. If we multiply by 100, we're going to get 35, negative 35 x squared plus 36, 37x plus blank is equal to negative 57,900 or 579,041. Okay? Speak up if you got any questions, Pendleton.
Lines not keep.
Yeah, they keep going, but the reason I've centralized on the first quadrant is because business marketing usually focuses on the first quadrant. All right, so here we go. Factor out of 35. Somebody divide 36, 37 by 35 for me.
103.9.
Okay, so that's going to be x squared minus 103.9. Give me 2 digits. 0.9 what?
0.91.
1.
0.91. Okay, quantity squared, I'm sorry. We gotta divide that by 2 and square it. Somebody be doing that for me, not right now, but do it for me And then plus blank is equal to, and I'm gonna erase this parabola and move it. It's gonna move everything. No, it didn't. I don't believe it. I had training. Minus 57,9041 plus 35 times blank. All right, what's half of 103.91 and square it?
2,699.
2,699 point what?
0.55 technically if you round it up.
Okay, 2699. Okay, so that's going to be negative 35. And what's 103.9 divided by 2? I'm sorry, what?
51.95.
And somebody do this side, it's going to be negative. Just do the math. It's going to be a big ass number plus a big ass number. What is it?
Equals one great big ass number.
Yeah, thank you, Jake, for that intellect. Pendleton, can y'all compare with that intellect? Nothing. Tit on the bull.
Cricket in there.
In a closet. Just think, when you go to work, when you're in your work world, there'll be a closet. And that's where some of the Pendleton people are going to be sitting, in the closet. All right, doing their work with their coffee cup.
I'm seeing negative 5,884,000.
5,880,000.
884,000.
Oh, cube.
898.25.
Oh, turbos.
Yeah, that's
Okay, go ahead and divide that by 35. It's going to be positive.
It's 168,939.95.
Now take the square root of that. X minus 51.95 is equal to positive or negative. What's the square root of 168, 139.95?
410.04.
X is equal to positive or negative 410.04 plus 51.95. One's going to be 961.99. Somebody check me. And then the negative is going to be positive. What's negative 410.04 plus? It's going to be negative. What is it?
Negative 14 plus 1.
Yeah, point plus 51.95.
358.05 or negative 358.05.
Okay, so you know that this is going to be 358.
Yeah.
Now, does that matter to us? No. Why? Because it's negative, and we don't want to worry about that one. Because the distance can't be negative.
Right.
And this, where it hits the ground, it hits the ground at 962 feet. And then the highest point is going to be 52 feet. And what's the highest point? What are we doing? A low projection silver for the population of a small. This is population, right? So the population is going to be 5,884,899 in 51 years or 52 years. I don't know what number of years. So somebody take 1990 and add 52 to it. That's going to be the year.
Yeah.
2001?
42.
42, and that population is going to be at 6,584,899. Ain't no such thing as a 0.25 person.
Just a baby.
Now, they should ask you for that information. I thought when it said projection, I thought this was a projectile. That's why I said 962 feet. So this'll basically, what's 962 plus 1990?
2,952.
So that's when, in the year 3000, I thought it was going to end in 12 years. I thought the world was going to end in 12 years.
I heard 5 months.
Okay. So in 2,952, population of this small town USA will be obliterated and gone. So you need to tell that to your people that say it's going to end. We only got 11 years now, right?
I got a small
Bernie's
question.
going to take care of all of us. Bernie's still going to be alive. He's going to be like an artificial Bernie.
See, the easy campus, we can't hear this guy answering all your questions. So I'm just like, where's he getting all these numbers from?
Okay. Well, actually, most of the time I'm doing them in my head.
You just that good?
Yeah. Actually, the adding I can do in my head. It's the subtraction that gives me a problem.
See, I've never been in a class with a teacher and look at everybody,
Uh-huh.
so it's kind of interesting to want to see everybody. But there's only 2 campuses.
Well, yeah, I can well, see, they messed up when they put this screen. They should have left this screen beside because I can make it one big screen. I can't pull this down and make it, it messes it up. It splits the screens and it messes it up. But at Tri-County Tech, if something ain't broke, what do they do? And I told them, I said, you need to put those side by side, and they didn't. So I'm still waiting on them to move it side by side. I guess we'll do it when we have training.
Hey, let's do it after class.
No, then I'll get fired.
They can't fire me.
Okay, 29, was that the same one? Everybody sent that one in. So does that help y'all, or one person sent that one in? Sent it like 9 times. Mr. Smith, why are you sending stuff like 9 times?
I guess it
Make
messed
sure
up.
I get it.
It froze on my computer.
Oh, okay.
He's one of those guys that like when something doesn't load, he keeps clicking.
Yeah, he keeps hitting enter. Okay, Mr. Smith is our designated meth head. Okay.
Yep.
Next, 26. A tennis ball is thrown into a swimming pool from the top of a tall hotel.
So the dog's gonna jump in and get it.
I don't know. Okay. Well, first of all, it's not A because that's a hyperbola. That's not going to work. It's C because you can't throw. You can't throw from hell. Okay, so negative 12,100, you're pretty much in hell. So forget that. So we're at C. All right, so let's go ahead and find the vertex and everything, and let's see what, I don't know what they're asking for. So that's negative 16. Pendleton, settle down, please.
Sorry.
Pendleton, have you seen any good movies lately?
Seen any movies?
Yeah.
Hey, what happened to that guy?
Honestly, no.
Keeps coming over here.
I'm
Okay, got a question for y'all, Pendleton.
Which
What's
one of
that?
y'all was coming over to the Anderson campus today?
you. That was me.
There's one of y'all that said that.
Oh, it's
Oh my God. What a lad.
Where you at, man?
Come
I'm
on.
sorry. I'm sorry.
He didn't want to get beat up.
You're a flake.
If he tried to come over here, the rest of Pendleton would beat the crap out of him.
They come down last night.
They come down here with us.
What a snooze.
Them Pendleton people don't play. They want everybody to be conditioned. You know, like the cattle and the you know, like the old
You sure?
steak houses where you
My roommate
had
goes
to be in a line and you had to go
30
or
minutes
you Six Flags. That's what Pendleton wants everybody to be. You got your place and you stay in it, right, Pendleton?
Right.
There you go. Follow the person in front of you. Don't look up. Don't look down. You follow the person in front of you. Pendleton's got it. They got it written down, man. All right, here we go. Negative 16, and that's going to be t squared plus, what's 4 over 16? 1/4? What are you talking about? What are y'all laughing about?
Math is just so fun.
Well, yeah,
He don't wanna lose his spot.
you know what they'll do? They'll throw out his chair, burn it, and then they'll probably put blood across the desk right there. Is probably what they'll do. All right, so what's 1/4? What's 1/4 divided by 2? That's going to be 1/8. What's 1/8 squared? 1 what? 64? So negative 16 times 1/64. Make sure I did everything right. Okay, so that's going to give us, first of all, 4 divided by 16 gives us 1/4. 1/4 divided by 2 is 1/4 times 1/2, which is 1/8. 1/8 squared is 1/64. The 16, how many times will 16 go into 64? 4 times. So I'm not going to make this amount, that'll be negative 1190.25. Can y'all handle that?
See, I love fractions.
Negative 16, be quiet, Jay. T plus 1/8 quantity squared is equal to negative 1190.25.
I wasn't being sarcastic. I really do like fractions.
Okay, so our vertex,
You're a dick.
see, somebody look at that. Somebody might think the vertex is 1200. Guess what?
They're wrong.
It's not. The vertex is negative 1/8 and 1190.25.
That's close. 1200.
1190.25. You ever heard of the Challenger?
Oh, the space rocket?
Yeah, one blew up.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want Jay working at NASA. All right, I was close enough. There goes the space shuttle. That O-ring was too small. It is. We didn't go to the moon. That's all fake. Russia didn't either. Russia, all that Sputnik and all that didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Yeah.
We just caught. They got
JFK
space birds, we went to
video.
space birds.
Yeah.
You know, flat earth.
And JFK lives with Elvis and Star. All right. So,
I thought I saw them together yesterday.
so somebody divide 1190.25 divided by negative 16. That's going to give us T plus 1/8 quantity squared is equal to, if it goes positive, what is it?
74.39.
74.39. And then take the square root of that. T, what is 1/8?
0.125.
0.125 is equal to, what's the square root of 74.39?
8.62.
8.62, and that's going to be minus 1.25. One of them is going to be negative. That's going to be negative 9 something. So I'm just going to put negative 9. Negative 9 dot dot dot. And then let's see, what's 8? That'd be 7. I don't know, what is it? What's 8 minus 1.25? 8.62 minus 1.25.
Is the decimal in the right spot there?
I don't know. That's what y'all told me.
7.1.
0.125. I'm sorry. Thank you, Jay. 0.125. What is 8.62 minus 0.125?
8.495.
8.495. So at 8.5 seconds, or whatever this is, what is this? A tennis ball? So after you throw it, 8 seconds, or 8.5 seconds, it's going to hit the ground. I'll never forget when I was watching The Rings, or one of the movie. It was a movie about a whale,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and they dropped something in it, and I counted 9.8, and I told my son how deep it was. How'd you figure that out? Well, I think 9.8 meters per second. Is it 9.8 meters per second?
9.86.
Okay, whatever. Is it feet per second or meters per second? I can't remember. But anyway, you count how long it takes for something to fall, and you multiply it by 10. And that's how deep it is, especially meters or feet. And he was like, the greatest thing in the world. But we never used math.
How
Okay.
old was he watching that movie? 'Cause I was scared to death.
He was like 3 years old.
Yeah, it traumatized me.
It did.
I watched TV when the
DSS didn't like it.
But come on, man.
How scary watching a whale?
Oh my God.
No, man. The TV.
Anybody got a question? Pendleton, you good?
And that girl comes out with her hair.
I'm good.
Okay, why they got 8.5. Why is it 8 point? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't reading the question. It says 8.75 is meaningless. Yeah, because you on top of the hotel right here. This is in somebody's parking lot, so that's meaningless.
So why is there two sides?
Because all parabolas have two sides.
Right, but like if I'm on a hotel and a chunk of wall,
You can't throw it behind you. If you're throwing it in front of you, you can't throw it behind you.
right? So it just does
You
like
can't
a
go
weird-
forward in time and go back in time at the same time. Just think of it like that.
Time's relevant.
Or you just do like this, go two.
Although some women try to manipulate time. You ever seen them at the cheerleading competitions and the recitals? They try to dress up like their daughter. It's really sad.
They just trying to have a good
Pendleton
time.
won't even give me any kind of, y'all should jump on that, Pendleton. None of nothing. Y'all ever been to a recital or a dance competition?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Does some of the mamas try to dress up like the daughters?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it sad or is it great?
It's
Okay, thank you.
Good job, Richard.
Wow.
No. I drive a black truck that's 6 feet in the air. It's got three exhaust, what do you call it, smokestacks on it, and it's squatted and 6 inches in the back end off the ground.
You need to see my truck. You just perfectly described it.
Okay, great. That's great. Women, run from Jake. He's a future domestic violence thing.
I have a sticker that says,
Yeah, whatever.
and then it says,
Next.
only math teacher.
All right, this is 27. All right, here's another one. A softball is hit with an upward velocity of 48 feet per second when t is equal. Okay, here's another one where they don't give you the formula. So I'll go ahead and give you the formula. I think we went over one like this the other day. Negative 16t squared plus the initial velocity t plus the initial height. Okay, so I'm going to just write that down for you. And then y'all should be able to plug and chug. I think this is the one we did the other day, and I made an error in the second part. So we'll try to do it again. So negative 16t squared plus, what's our initial velocity?
48.
T plus our initial height. Hold on a second. Our initial height is 7 feet plus blank is equal to negative 7 plus blank. All right, I'm gonna let y'all do this part. No, we can't do it. We gotta plug in something, don't we? Okay, no, we don't. No, I guess not. I guess I got this mixed up with the college algebra class. I can't remember. Are they asking for the what? Find the function that models. Okay. Okay, they want the vertex. So this is not the final question, I thought. All right. In college algebra 1, you have to take the initial velocity, or you have to find the initial velocity. It's a basketball question. Have we done a basketball question in here?
No.
Okay, it must have been the college algebra. All right, negative 16, and that's going to be what? T squared minus what? 3t plus blank is equal to negative 7 plus negative 16 times blank. Half of 3 is 3 halves. 3 halves squared is 9 what? Fourths. And that 16 and that 4 will cancel and make this a what? A 4 or 9? 4. Yeah, 4. Thank you. So that's going to be negative 16 t minus 3 halves, quantity squared. What is negative 7 minus 36? 43. All right, so now our
29.
vertex is what? 1.5, and what? So 1.5, 1.5 seconds be right there, I guess. At 1.5 seconds, you're at 43 what? Feet. That's a good test question. Why is that test question easy? I mean, good. It's not easy. Why would I pick that question? KISS method. Keep it simple. These questions got like 4 parts and 15 decimals. I try not to pick those unless I don't like you, Jake. All right, 27. Number 1, 3.2. We're moving on, believe it or not. Oh my gosh. That one's way too. That one, okay, now if you want, we're going to do it complete and square. We all know that it's probably 9 and 5. We're going to do it complete and square. Why? Just to piss people off. X squared minus 4x plus blank is equal to 45 plus blank. What's half of 4?
2.
2 squared? 4. 4x minus 2, quantity squared, is equal to 49. Square root x minus 2 is equal to positive or negative 7. X is equal to 7 plus 2 is 9. So negative what? Negative 5. Now, did I skip a couple of steps? I skipped about 5 steps. Because once you get good at completing the square, you can just about do completing the square as fast as you can do what? Anything else. Quadratic, formula, or the factoring. I'll check it, make sure. Check my math to make sure I'm not wrong. Pendleton, will you check that for me and let me know if I'm wrong? Yeah. Why don't I just type it in?
Is that how we look?
Huh?
Just people staring at their computers?
Yeah, pretty much. They're not paying attention.
Is that how we look at you?
Yeah. 9, comma, negative 5.
Okay, so if it's negative 2 minus 7, it'd be negative 9.
This is
But-
plus over here. When you bring this over, that'd be plus 9, plus 2. What's 7 plus 2?
9.
What's negative 7 plus 2?
Oh, negative 5. Okay,
There you
that
go.
makes more sense now.
Now it says use a comma. Let's see if I typed it in right. Yep. Now, is this a good test question? Yes. Do I want you to do it complete in the square? Yes. I know some of y'all aren't going to do it, just like I know Pendleton's not paying attention.
Mhm.
But I do know that some of y'all wanting to learn and some of you wanting to learn the quadratic, complete the square. So I'm just depending on the people that want to learn versus the people that either are not paying attention or don't want to do the complete the square. All
I
right?
want to take the easy way out.
Yep. Take the easy way out. So that's number 1, delete. Number 6. Okay, go ahead and do that. It says use the graphing utility, but I'm going to do complete the square. So you can do either or both. I'd rather you do both. Where'd Jake go? My gosh.
How did he sneak out like that?
I think he has issues. Y'all need to ask him if he's on, on any kind of medication.
Rob, you overload them.
Somebody want a biscuit?
Pendleton, they want one?
No, they probably won't eat anything from us.
Probably. Okay.
Pendleton, do y'all eat biscuits?
Yes. Yeah. Are they Bojangles biscuits?
Oh, see, they won't. They're the type. You're the type of student that would ask me where am I going to get the biscuits from, even though they're free.
Free biscuits, best biscuits.
I actually had students that say, this was what, I had a conventional class upstairs. I said, I'm gonna bring everybody biscuits. And I had one student say, where are you gonna get them from? I didn't answer, of course, because that's rude. No, these are from Hardee's. I meant from Burger King, because West Anderson doesn't rate too many restaurants. And if we do rate them, they're out of the way. So I have to go, and I only had like 10 minutes between classes to go, so I had to go to Burger King.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
I had one student tell me that she wanted a chicken biscuit. I said, well, good, go get you one, because I'm getting dollar menu. People wonder why people go crazy. That's exactly why. You give somebody something free, and they turn around and say, well, would you get me a chicken biscuit?
I think we all need to meet in Pickens next Thursday and go to Bobby Garen's.
What the hell is that?
It's like a cafe in Pickens, but like it's the best food I've ever had.
I can't go. I can't go because that involves people, and I don't like people.
So I was there last year, and I literally saw the woman there flipping eggs with a spatula, and a boat on the wall. She smacked it,
And it kept on cooking.
wiped it on her apron, and then kept flipping.
Yeah.
And she said that adds protein.
That's protein.
And you know, I ate that, and it was the best freaking eggs
Oh,
I've
yeah.
ever had. That's my heart of it.
Well, you know high society would never eat anything like that.
I just realized you got a bullet, man.
I guarantee you this. If you didn't mean, he showed everybody that day in class.
I guess I wasn't paying attention to mine.
I'm bringing the 80s back.
I hear you, man. They had the best music.
Because when I was born,
X squared
I was
minus
60 back.
9/2 x plus blank is equal to 5 plus 2 times blank. I don't care what anybody says. Next to the 60s being the best music, 80s was the best music.
Oh, 80s is way better than 60s.
No, 60s is good. I don't think you could ever knock the 60s off the pedestal, but
Who's
80s.
your favorite artist?
Oh gosh, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue. I like them all. Poison.
You like the Eagles?
Oh gosh, yeah, the Eagles is my favorite band.
Oh, the Eagles.
They're doing aren't they doing like a,
Yeah, they do like a comeback tour of
Yeah.
50 years.
I think they're doing one.
But a lot of people say, how do you know an artist is an artist? Like for instance, George Strait. You can play George Strait's first song in 2020 and people still love it.
Right.
That's the difference between an artist and an idiot that performs. 2, okay, 9/2 divided by 2 over 1 is multiplied by 1 over 2. I got 9/4, and 9/4 is 81 what? 16ths? So 2 times x minus 9/4, quantity squared, excuse me, is equal to, well that 2 will make this 16 and 8, so that makes this 5 of what? 40 over 8, Hubert.
I was just about to say that.
Thank you. So what's 40? 40 plus 40 plus 81. 121 over 8.
It's like high school all over again.
And that's 9/4, comma, negative 121 over 8. That's your vertex. Now I'm going to divide by 2. Divide by 2, multiply by 1/2. I get x minus 9/4, quantity squared, is equal to 121 over 16. X minus 9/4 is equal to positive or negative 11 over 4. What's 11 plus 9? 20 over 4, which is 5. What's negative 11 plus 9?
2.
Negative 2, which is negative 1/2. Somebody check me.
I thought it was positive 2. No, you're right.
Yeah.
My bad.
So the x-intercepts are going to be 5, or negative 1/2, comma 5. That's a test question. Now again, I know you've got calculators. I know you've got quadratic formula. But like I say, if you want to pass calculus, you better know what I teach you. All right,
Teach
negative
calculus.
121. I'm teaching this next semester. So you better make sure you sign up for it. Of course, I doubt Pendleton will because they hate me. 9 force. Math, what is it called? Math 130?
Yeah. How do I sign up for your class?
Well, you got to go by and see your advisor to unlock your registration. We're doing pre-advising right now. Y'all need to go to Starfish, sign up for an appointment, and then go by and they'll unlock it and then sign up for 130, the one that has Polycom beside it.
So that's you?
Yeah.
Most of the time it says like GPA for teacher.
Well,
To be honest.
I'm the only one that teaches the math report because nobody else will.
And I was wondering.
In the whole.
Why did I not do, what's wrong with my problem?
They wanted decimals.
Is that 9 force? 9 force is not 0.5.
No.
Oh,
X-intercept.
okay. All right, well, they want decimals. What's 121 over 8? That's not going to be 5. I've done something wrong.
No, you did it right. It's the X-intercepts on the bottom.
That's what they want.
That's what they
121
want.
divided by 8 is 15.125.
See? See, that's the x-intercept. I didn't do that.
Yeah, you did on the bottom thing, bottom left.
5. Oh, I'm sorry. What did I type in? Oh, I typed in the vertex. I'm sorry. I typed in the vertex. I suck. But we got it right. Delete. Number 10. I feel like I'm doing y'all's 3.2 homework for you.
I appreciate it.
X squared plus 2x minus 10.
Can you do the full method with it too?
Can you do what?
The full method.
I don't know what that is. You talking about the FOIL? Mr.
Yeah.
Smith, I do not understand what you are saying. Plus 2x plus blank is equal to 10 plus blank. That was my student that told me that I couldn't speak right. Yeah, you can do x,
How do you pronounce full?
FOIL, x, and I don't know, 2 and 5, that's going to be a 2 here and a 5 here, but I don't think, nope, you can't factor this one. Yeah. 2 and 5 will only give you a 3 and a 7, so it's not factorable. How do most Southerners pronounce OIL?
Oh.
That's the way I say it. But I said it that semester, and I had a smart aleck from Pennsylvania tell me, Mr. McClure, I do not understand what you are saying. And there was about 4 or 5 Bubbas and Bubbettes on the first row, and they got irritated. And when she said, when I wrote it down, it said, we're doing the FOIL method. She said, oh, you mean FOIL. And they laughed her out of the room, and she never did come back. She left her books.
I'd be so embarrassed.
Yeah, she could dish it out, but she couldn't take it.
And see, she probably didn't like sweet tea, so her opinion's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
You don't like sweet tea?
Oh yeah, and that's another one. This new country, you gotta make 4 syllables out of sweet tea. That's this new country, and you gotta have sweet tea in the song. Had to be country music nowadays.
oh yeah.
2 divided by 2 is what? 1 squared? So x plus 1, quantity squared, is equal to 11. That's your vertex, -1, comma, -11. And then square root of 11 is what? 11 to, what, 9.3? Somebody, what's square root of 11?
3.31.
I'm sorry, 3.3. And x is equal to positive or negative 3.3 minus 1. 3.3, now you need to go, I don't know, what does the direction say? Use as a radical. Okay. Well, this is what your answer is if you don't use a radical. If you do use a radical, it's going to be the square, -1 plus or minus the square root of what? 11. Or you can do, but since they asked for a radical, you have to type it in as a radical. I'm gonna go
How do
ahead,
you type that in?
you do -1 plus, now they have, I don't know if they'll accept this, this is not wrong, plus or minus the square root of 11. That's not wrong, so if you type that in, I will take it. Let's see if they take it. All right, they do take it.
Say it doesn't specify.
What about
if
number
it's in
12?
Radicals right here.
On number 12, the next one.
Oh, so you sent me the next one? I'm doing your homework. Are you the one I'm doing your homework?
No, it's like a divider. It's like
No, somebody sent me an 11, so I guess we'll get number 12. No, we're not going to do number 12. So here's the next one. Y'all better have chapter 3 done Monday, or at least 3.1 and 3.2. Oh, well, maybe that's why I made it due today.
That's why I was up at 11:30 doing this.
All right, so x squared minus 5x plus blank is equal to -6 plus blank. Half of 5 is 5 halves. 5 halves is 25 what? Fourths. X minus 5 halves, quantity squared, is equal to, what are we going to change 6 to? 24 fourths? -1/4. And you see with these easy ones, you can just about what? X minus 5 halves equals plus or minus 1/2, and then X is equal to plus or minus 1/2, 1, convulsions. Did I hear a convulsion? Somebody check that for me. What's 1 plus 5? 6, that'll be a 3. And what's -1? What's -1 plus 5? 4. So it looks like there's your 2x intercepts. And you maybe start seeing that you can skip 2 or 3 steps. And you could actually do these a whole lot easier than any other method. And you're still using, except for the shortcut, you're still using, what, 7th grade math and below?
Can you type that in? Because for whatever reason.
Y'all want me to do your homework for you?
Yeah.
It says use what?
Radical.
So that means you got to type in a radical.
If it doesn't say use radical, can we use both? Whatever one we feel.
No, because I'm not changing 15,000 answers. You need to follow the directions. Okay, so this one, the square root, well, the square root, you don't have to, because the square root of 1 is what? 1. So it's going to be 3 and 2. So you type in 2, comma, 3. That's a test question because it's what? Short and sweet. It's 10:47, so I make sure convulsions, when the convulsions are going to start. This is number 4, 3.2. All right, I'm going to do everything, so go ahead and start on this one. This is a good test question because you actually have to think a little bit. The previous one, you didn't have to think too much. 3x squared plus 17x plus blank is equal to -24 plus blank. Can anybody tell me what the most made mistake on this problem is? Yeah, in other words, what is students make the most mistakes? Well, on this first part, what do?
They don't,
They think the 24 is already on the left. Remember, this is a test. You talk about a test, and what are you're hurrying, and you move that 24 over, and it becomes a what? Positive 24. That's the most. That is the number one mistake students make on this problem. On a problem like this, you got to be careful. Now, Pendleton, the ones that are actually paying attention, I want to ask you a question. How were you the first day we started completing the square, and how are you now?
Better.
A lot more confident.
Good. That's what I want. If you take 15 minutes to do this problem, that's a little bit too much. You should be able to do these problems now within 1 minute, 1 minute, 30 seconds. You should be able to get the vertex and the x-intercepts. If you're not, then you need to practice more. 3 x squared plus 17 halves plus blank is equal to negative 24 plus 3 times blank.
Would it not be a 17 thirds?
Yes, thank you. Okay, so 17 thirds divided by 2 is 1 half, so that's 17/6. 17 is 529 or 3, I can't remember what's 17 squared.
289.
289. 289 over 36. Somebody check me. Y'all got to help me on that 17 squared. Make sure it's 289. 3 times x plus, I just want 2 people to confirm everything. That's 17 over 6 equals, what happens to that 3 and that 36? That becomes a 12, so this becomes a what? Somebody take 24 times 12, what do you get?
288.
288 over 12. Again, that's that 7th grade and below math, getting a common what? Denominator. So what is negative 288 plus 289? 1, Hubert. That's right, class. So our vertex is negative 17/6, comma, negative 1/12. And divide by 3, which means you're going to multiply by 1/3, and we get x plus 17/6, quantity squared, is equal to 1 over 36. All right, the square root's going to be what? Something simple. I'll do the square root of 1 for you. X plus 17 over 6 is equal to 1 over 6. X is equal to positive or negative 1 minus 17 over what? 6. Finish it out. One of these days I'm going to change it alarm. That's telling me that they all need to finish up.
Very soon.
Well, I have to because Pendleton will start convulsing, and then that'll just piss me off. Or Jake will start convulsing.
Turn into the old.
Whoa.
X is equal to,
They took a shot.
what's 1 minus 17? What's 16 over 6? Hang on, 8/3? Somebody check me.
Yeah.
And that's negative, right? And negative 1 minus 17 is negative 18. That's going to be negative 3.
Yes, sir.
And there's your 2 x-intercepts. No coughing in class. Was that a sneeze or a cough?
That was a cough.
You need to lay off them Marlboro Reds. Them thing will kill you.
She's allergic.
Almost
Dang old
allergic.
Joker. Dang old, he was inhaling them things.
Mhm.
All right. Okay, the sun revolves around Pendleton.
The best thing to come out of Pendleton's 76 on the way out.
All right, 24. Let's try to get these last 2 done so everybody can finish their homework by tonight. All right, this is a calculator question, so make sure you can do it on a calculator. If I did give you a question for a calculator, it would be one like this, but I don't think I'd make it that aggravating. Okay? Take your handy-dandy calculator, and y is equal to 13.441 x squared.
That G of X is the same thing as F of X, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what that says, yeah. X to the 2nd power minus 248 minus 248.43343 x, oh, this is painful, plus 1553.1 958. Now, first of all, what is your y-intercept? Your y-intercept is 1553, so you know your window's going to have to go at least to what? 1600. So hit window, and you see 2300 on there, so I would make it 2300 for your max, 2300, and use 0 because you don't need to see and hit graph. I don't know if you still go, there it is. So it looks like it's opening what? Upward. So you just need to find it. And I think probably this one is your best. What does it ask for? The best? Because you could say negative 21 to positive 21. You could do that. Let's see. Window, negative 21 to positive 21. Using a calculator with a mouse is very painful. So you could make it better, but I guess since seeing the vertex, you could pick A or D. I don't know why they're picking D. I guess.
So which side of the y-axis it's falling on?
Okay. So D is that answer. Now, the price of gold will be blank per ounce in 2020. Well, what is 2020? Is that X or Y? Where X is the number of years after 1990. So what's 1990 from 2020?
30.
How much?
30.
Okay, so go to your table, go to second table, and find X is equal to what? 30. So that's the easiest way to find it. And what's our answer? 6197.6. So write that down. 6197.6. 6197.6. Does it say round? Doesn't say anything. So in that case, you can put whatever you want to. And it's wrong. So let's try 6198. Okay, I don't know what. Did I do something wrong?
Really?
Okay, I'm not going to. Now, in the year, what am I going to do here? I'm going to say y is equal to 333.34. I'm going to go back to my handy dandy calculator, and I'm going to go to y is equal, and I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to make it a dashed line. Enter, 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 enter. And I'm going to type in, what did they say, 333.34, and graph. Now you might have to zoom out a little bit because I think our y is only going to 2300, isn't it? So we need to make our y, go window, go to 3500. And there's your first line. And there's your second line, so we need to zoom out, and just make the origin a little bit up from there and over to the right, maybe right in there, I don't know, somewhere in there, and up a little bit, and hit enter. And now I want to find those two intersection points, second trace, intersect. And the first one, move it over to the left of the first one. Now, we don't care about that. Why? Because it's in the second quadrant. So all I care about is this one over here. So I'm going to hit enter, enter, and then a guess right in there somewhere. So somebody check me and see if it's not 24. So what's 24 plus 1990? 204. There you go. So this is a calculator drill. If I was to put one on the test for a calculator drill, it would be one like this one. I don't care too much about the window, but I do care if you can find X, and find y. And you should be able to do that by the table or by graphing. Okay? That's a good question, whoever sent it. Who sent it? Mr. Wetzel sent it.
I'll send it.
Good job.
Is that red shirt?
Okay,
Yes, I did.
19. Last one before y'all go into convulsions. If a ball, okay, we've already done this one, but let's go ahead and get it started. We got a minute. Okay, so let me go ahead and get it started for you. Negative 16t squared plus 64t plus blank is equal to negative 4 plus blank. Factor out of 16. That's going to give you t squared minus 4t plus blank is equal to negative 4 plus negative 16 times blank. Half of 4 is 2 squared is 4. And that's going to be negative 16 t minus 2 quantity squared is equal to negative 64 minus 4 is negative what? 68. There's your vertex. Divide by 16. Divide by 16. T minus 2 quantity squared is equal to 68 divided by 4, 17. Was that 17? I think that's 17. That'd be 17 over 4. I want to get perfect square on the bottom so I can take it in my head so I don't have to use a calculator. So I can make change when I work at a cash register and not look like a dumbass. All right? Equals positive or negative, let's see, 4.1 over 2, and that's going to be what, 4 over 2? So t is equal to positive or negative 4.1, no coughing, plus 4 over 2, and what's 4.1 plus 4? And what's half of $8.10? There you go. And negative 4.1 plus 4 is 10 cents, right? And that's negative 0.05. So that should be your x-intercepts. Now, what does it say? What does it take for the ball thrown 32 feet? Well, what's our vertex? Our vertex is 2 and what? 68. So our vertex is 2 and 68. 2 and 68. What's half of 68? 34. What are they asking for? So your answer is going to be less than 1 second. Well, you're going to have to go in and find the table. So find the table height. You can find the table where the height is 32, or you could what? Just graph y is equal to what? 32. So find on your table where y is equal to 32, or put y is equal to 32 in your calculator and find there might be 2. One may be in the negative, which is no good, but it might be both in the positive. So you'll have to do that on the calculator. Okay? Or you could plug and chug. And that takes care of 3.1 and 3.2. Now, 80% of your chapter 3 tests, which I'm not going to test you on 4. I'm going to test you in 4 and 5, just like I do my college algebra. I'm going to test you on 4 and 5 separately. So look for a test next week. Probably when y'all come back, we'll go over questions, and we'll go over the test Thursday. So that means the test is probably going to start Thursday. Capiche?
Gosh.
Anybody got questions? I'm just